sure the Sentry just made a very, and continues to make a very interesting
It's a good thing. Yeah, A&M trying to convince me that that's a feature, but sounds like some of the tuning on their side making their robots rattle as we hop straight into round one of Singapore versus TAMU.
Both standards going first and the heroes following up after. Oh, immediately smacking that wall on the red team side.
Yeah, not something we're accustomed to from Elizabeth, but maybe just going for that added speed here. Now we've got the standard strat coming out from Singapore, which is what we typically see. 100 projectiles to the sentry, or to the standard, 5 to the hero. Texas A&M has adapted this standard heavy, able to use that barrel swap as they're chipping away at the hero of Singapore, putting all of their money initially into the standard.
It's interesting that both standards went to engage the opposite hero. I liked how Singapore went to the very top of the field and started attacking A&M's hero from the top, just out of like, like a sniper fire right there.
Uh-oh. Looks like Singapore firing at something in the crowd, probably wearing a little bit of red.
I think it also notices the orange tags sometimes that some of the teams wear, so.
Yeah. The standard for Texas A&M actually probably for the first time losing their engagement with twice the ammo and twice the barrels. They're chased
NUS
back.
is going to chase.
Oh my goodness, they used the blood bag. Their health is going in. Singapore first blood onto Texas A&M standard.
And now it's a level 2 standard engaging with that hero. I don't think that hero has any shots to fire.
Chat, how strong is the plot armor? Singapore doing the impossible, taking down the MVP of Texas A&M. Texas A&M's whole strategy has relied on the power of their standard, getting the experience increase for their hero, and that is not the case as Singapore gains an early experience lead.
On top of that, they've also knocked down 100 health already from the sentry by using that hero fire. So and now
there goes another.
Health.
Wow,
we're
those
knocking
shots
it down.
are so hard to hit. Singapore, round one. Texas A&M standard, again, extremely low on health. Level 1 versus level 2. Are they going to be able to pull it off?
Again, and
they're down again.
Now that hero is level 2 as well on Singapore's side, this is starting to become a little bit of a snowball. Texas A&M really has to find their footing and grab back in order to make it back here.
Char, we haven't seen Texas A&M play from a level deficit all week. Maybe this is the answer. If you could take down their standard and their hero early, perhaps they don't know how to come back.
That first blood really is going to matter here, I think, yeah.
Another shot lands. Another.
2 more.
NUS.
1 more.
Their hero is cracked. How are they hitting these shots?
That sentry's about to go down.
1 more hero shot would do
comes
it.
In. The hero's coming in trying to body block the sentry, just keep that win condition alive, but
we've now reached the halfway point of the match. Now, A&M not always ahead by the halfway point in health, but always ahead in every match so far in their halfway point in experience, which, I mean, very, very opposite case here, as Texas A&M still yet to get a kill.
It also seems like there isn't really CV on the NUS robots, so those hero shots might just be manually aimed, in which case, amazing shot spread.
Yeah,
I mean, down now?
Even with CV, the hero projectile is so hard to time against spinning plates. I don't know if this is the right call, Schwar. There's only 20 HP left on this sentry. If I was NUS, I'd wait to be hitting the base until that shield falls off.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's interesting, especially because your standard is like right there. You might as well just wait, pull up with the standard, and just take out that last little bit. It's not like the A&M hero is firing at you for some reason.
You really don't have to worry about the driven robots of Texas A&M in this match. They're both level 1. There's only a minute and 30 seconds left to go.
Now we have that level 3 standard. This is going to be very interesting. There goes the sentry down. Now we should see attacking the base with NUS.
Texas A&M not predicted to fall to NUS. Chat, 50% of you actually voting for Singapore. A dead even chat vote. But man, round 1 not dead even, not 50%, not close, as Texas A&M's dreams are shattered of round 1. NUS making a statement that they are top 4 material and that they're here to play and not just a miracle run.
With only 1 minute left on the clock, I really don't see any avenue of Texas A&M bringing this back. You might just need to recuperate and be ready for the next round.
Chat, they only have 1 blood bag left. Their standard has no HP. Their hero is level 1, so difficult to use. They haven't gotten a kill, so the base is indestructible. And now their standard's not even online.
Wow, this has just been an absolute just dumpster fire for the team. The sentry didn't even shoot either.
There's a base destruction with 40 seconds left. Time to spare. Singapore taking out Texas A&M.
In round 1, Preston, I don't know what I just saw. That was not what I expected personally. It definitely could have been close, but NUS was dominant. Not a single win.
As we might be going into this match.
3, 2, 1, round start. We have Texas A&M versus VT. I mean, excuse me, NUS. And Texas A&M not fielding a standard. Their robot not online. They have a red short again, so they only have 2 robots on the field. The hero from Texas A&M, a lot of pressure here as NUS taking advantage and already getting a small chip damage lead on the sentry. We've seen VT pull this off. We'll see if Keegan and the hero can do it.
Texas A&M needs a hero, as Keegan's going to be forced to play solo. Ooh, taking a lot of damage from an enemy hero shot. Singapore doing some substantial damage to the Texas A&M hero.
Able to get away, probably around 50 to 70 health left, but he will not make it back to the Stinger's dead.
First blood going over to Singapore. We've seen how impactful those early levels can be. Singapore going straight for the sentry, not wasting any time.
Texas A&M sentry doing something, firing here.
Texas A&M is actually firing back at the hero, dealing some damage.
They didn't even spend that timeout working on the sentry. What changed? It's finally online, making this a 2v3, really evening this back out for Texas A&M. Was a hopeless situation, but if that sentry can defend itself as it fires at its own base, unironically shooting the purple.
Texas A&M has had the same issue in the past. It's not a bug, it's a feature. It's what Sid said.
Yeah, I mean, he literally told me walking past today that they were telling it to target purple.
Looks like it's doing a pretty good job of targeting purple. Well, that's going to be bad news for Texas A&M.
Oh my word, NUS, their hero just cracked out of his mind, hitting, I think it was Andy and the hero for Singapore, landing shot after shot on the sentry of Texas A&M.
Singapore doing a very good job.
What an emotional roller coaster of a game. A&M was losing it all in this round and then had a glimmer of hope, and now emptying 400 projectiles towards their own base. Doesn't seem like this sentry is going to be any help at all.
Well, since last match was remade, it was not counted. Singapore is still going to have to win 2 matches. A&M will also, if they're somehow able to come back here, win 2 matches as well, because it is a best of 3. Very long-range shot from from Andy on that hero on Singapore. Singapore opting to...
Keegan and the hero of Texas A&M landing 1 shot onto the hero of Singapore. It's going to be good, but it's not enough as he goes down again. I mean, 1v3, it's just really hard to even stay close on levels. And now it's level 3 versus level 1. And as a hero, Texas A&M sentry facing the wrong way, firing at the base. But, man, Matt, tragic round 1 and remake of round 1 for Texas A&M as Singapore gratefully moves on and fires at the base of Texas A&M.
Texas A&M now at a very, very severe disadvantage. That hero is going to need a miracle with only a tiny amount of health left. Going to spell disaster for Texas A&M.
Oh, yeah.
Looks like there's actually some gimbal issues, as you can see that turret freaking out quite a bit.
Man, this hero from Singapore cannot overstate what a great job their design team and their driver have done. Really the best team we've seen at taking out sentries with a hero, and now doing an excellent job of drilling through the base. It's going to be even faster than round 1 the first time.
And that's
Singapore
another base kill.
Ignoring all the timeouts and just taking them out for round 1 rematch.
No matter how many timeouts A&M is able to use, it does not look like it's going to be able to change the outcome of this first match in the best of 3. What we're about to find out.
Yeah, Chad agreeing with you. Everyone's saying you've just got to run that standard and see what happens.
May as well not save it for next year.
3, 2, 1, game start. And we see the robot names come up, and they will be fielding their standard, but still going hero first strat
The
here.
sentry for Texas A&M offline, meaning that that's going to put Singapore at an inherent advantage.
A&M flipping their previous strategy with projectile purchasing, not showing a huge amount of confidence in the full functionality of the standard, but at least having it out to soak up more damage is going to be helpful for Texas A&M.
Texas A&M doing a little bit of body block.
Hero on hero combat.
Hero on hero combat, and
is
Keegan
able to get
wins
the
it.
first kill. Chad doubted him, Matt doubted him, and he shuts it down.
Keegan, now level 2, is going to go straight for the base, a strategy that we've seen exhibited by Virginia Tech.
The sentry for Texas A&M offline, so Keegan's got to go straight for the base. The sentry health is not going to be enough here for Texas A&M to take round 2.
Well, it appears that they're trying to make sure that they can give their hero as many resources to succeed, as Texas A&M is now going to go for that base push. Some good shots from Andy,
Matt,
barely missing.
I'm not 100% sure what's happening on the
Looks
side of
like
Texas A&M. Oh, there we go. The sentry time.
Ooh, that's going to be a pretty crucial mistake from Andy. Is now the level 3 standard is able to body block a lot more shots. The level 2 hero having a lot more experience, as well as now 15 projectiles, more than enough to take out the Singapore base with that overshield dwindling.
Yeah, Texas A&M's standard still not firing anything in this competition, but the Texas A&M base behind. It's going to be a base race, a 3v1 base race. But the sentry for Singapore is suddenly not firing any projectiles. This is crucial as it's not able to defend the base from Keegan and the hero.
Keegan, as the pilot of the hero, is doing a real hero story moment.
Uh-oh, he's getting taken out. Oh, sentry! Oh my goodness, the hero projectile overspeed from Singapore.
Looks like that's actually going to put Texas A&M in the lead, as now the level 3 standard goes to work on Texas A&M's base. This is going to be a very, very close match, but it's going to be difficult for JW to be able to outdamage Keegan on the base.
A reminder that when these robots revive, they have to go back to their reload zone before they're able to fire projectiles. So the advantage time-wise here going to shift a little bit to Singapore, as Keegan from the hero of Texas A&M has got to go back to his base before he can actually fire anything, but he's going to be taken out again. A big misplay there on the hero. Can't stay in their base if you can't fire projectiles. Not the place to be.
That's definitely the case, as now the standard. Singapore taking shots at Texas A&M's base, only 100 health behind.
And not able to land a lot of those. There we go. Now
They're
it's
able to land a
through.
lot, as it looks like they're going to try to make sure that Texas A&M stays out of it. Projectile overspeed once again going to be a very crucial.
The hero back online for Texas A&M. They have 2 minutes left. A hero definitely able to chew through 1,200 health. That's only 6 shots, but it looks like there might be an issue mechanically with that hero because it's not moving.
Hero now looking like it's able to spin to win.
Yeah, but it's got to get back to base.
It does have to get back to the base. Texas A&M bumping their hero might be a crucial
Texas
kill
A&M,
right here
mechanical
now.
issues all over the field. Sentry offline, hero can't drive, standard can't shoot. This is not a performance that will get you through the top 4, and NUS taking advantage and shutting them down.
Texas A&M needing a lot more damage done, as their hero is going to be up in just a few seconds. Going to need to get on those driver controls very quickly to be able to get back to the base, hopefully able to use that invincibility marked by that green health bar on the hero.
A minute and 30 seconds left. I mean, if the hero starts miraculously driving, they could get away with something. But
looks like they're going to get left with
Andy
no time.
and Singapore taking out the base of Texas A&M for round 2, and Singapore will go to the finals.
Singapore now guaranteed to be first or second in RMNA 2023. Texas A&M now only able to get third or fourth, as this decisive match that was quite the upset, Singapore able to capitalize on the mistakes made by Texas A&M.
E tutta l'amministrazione del Politecnico di Torino che ci ha assistito nella preparazione alla competizione. Grazie.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And if you'll just hand your headset back to Matt, we will
Yeah.
get right into round 2, the third time.
Yep.
From Texas A&M to the University of Singapore. All right, so Texas A&M looks like their standard is working. It's got 200 projectiles, back to that typical standard strat, but it did lose that first interaction between the standard TAMU and the standard of the Singapore. The sentry for Texas A&M doing a good job firing some projectiles at the robots of Singapore this time and not at the base.
Sentry for Texas A&M under fire quite a bit.
Yeah, not taking any damage though.
And there's a little bit of damage coming across.
First blood.
Ooh, and that hero is actually going to be the first thing to fall for Texas A&M as Singapore's hero.
Oh no, I
Snags
wonder
that
if
early
TAMU
kill.
was not able to get their hero up and moving. I mean, obviously most of those efforts focused on the standard, but Singapore taking an early lead in round 2.
Looks like Texas A&M's sentry or stand hero can move, just not very well.
Go. A lead advantage garnered by the University of Singapore.
Both
Gonna
their
help
robots
them
level
in
2.
this interaction. Standard 3 versus standard 3.
Celebration on the side of Texas A&M as they see their standard able to actually take shots at their hero moving.
The standard from Singapore running out of ammunition. They're having to back off even though it was winning the interaction between standards. And now the hero, Andy from Singapore, taking some shots and doing a great job
The
once
sentry
again.
for Texas A&M actually has been firing quite a bit, down to 400 projectiles left from 750.
Yeah, Matt, I think it needs to move a little bit to the right. We've seen UW and CU have some code that just makes it move initially to the right so it's not blocked by that barrier. I think a lot, as you can see, it's projectiles here hitting the barrier again. I think, there we go.
Oh, a hero kill coming across. That's going to set the Texas A&M standard to level 2. That's going to be a pretty big boost to their morale, as they're going to need to be level 2 to do really too much of anything. It looks like their barrel swap might not be working.
Singapore versus TAMU halfway through the match. So intense. Right now, the score after rematch is 1-0 for Singapore. Texas A&M standard now doing about 100 damage to the Sentry of Singapore, leveling that pretty well.
Ooh,
Singapore versus TAMU, standard confrontation in the middle, 1v1,
Whoa.
and Texas A&M takes out the standard. That's going to give level 3 to the standard of Texas A&M back to the strategy they've used so many times before.
Looks like that's going to be a lot of shots that Singapore is going to be taking on their base, as Texas A&M's hero is now level 2 with a lot of projectiles loaded in that hopper. The base shield almost falling completely.
One more hit will actually do damage, and there it is. TAMU doing damage to the base of Singapore.
Singapore's going to need to either do the same strat of going through the Sentry or killing the Sentry to be able to now tie this game up. 2 minutes left, though. Anything could happen. Levels, not too much of a difference. It's only level 2 versus level 3 versus a typical level 1 difference that we see. Level 2 standards and heroes are able to do so much more than their level 1 counterparts.
Blood bag secured by Texas A&M is going to be really helpful here. Firing at the Sentry of Singapore. Singapore's Sentry, whatever happened 2 matches ago where it stopped firing projectiles, not able to be repaired during that 10-minute gap, as it is not fired a single projectile. It's tracking very well. It's following the robots with its barrel, but not launching any projectiles.
Now, instead of actually being reactive, it looks like Singapore has once again improved their standard to be able to, whenever it locks onto things, actually be spinning a bit faster.
Sentry of Texas A&M taking a lot of hits from both the hero and the standard.
That's going to be the hero or the standard Sentry gone for Singapore, as the base is now under fire from Texas A&M. 2 shots in the hero. It's going to be only 400 damage if both shots land on that Singapore base. Texas A&M Sentry only at 68 health, almost a nice moment.
The hero from Texas A&M still on Singapore's side of the base, but probably one shot. So I don't know if Singapore is able to face them back off. We'll see the standard here come along over and take it out. Level 3 now achieved by both sides. 34 seconds left in the game.
Ooh.
And the hero for Singapore. Oh my gosh, so many kills coming across the board. Only one robot left in the game, and it is the standard from Singapore. 94 projectiles in their hopper. 19 seconds left to go.
To tie it.
Aced.
Ooh, and that hero shot actually going to be what takes out
10 seconds left to go. This looks like it will go the way of TAMU, because remember, Singapore will have to drive back to their resupply zone to be able to fire projectiles. This base health advantage going the way of TAMU, and Texas A&M will take round 2, try number 3 of this match.
An absolute emotional roller coaster for Texas A&M, as now with a working standard, you can see how much of a difference that standard that was able to win the 1v1 championship is able to make in these late game matches, as this is the semifinal game for Hero, doing tons of damage to the Sentry, even with those variable armor plate heights and the spin. But just whenever you're getting fired back at, it's a lot more pressure than just trying to make sure that you can time your shots.
Chad, it looks like Singapore will not choose to use their timeout. And so in 3, 2, 1, we will enter the final round of this match. Texas A&M versus the University of Singapore. Texas A&M's robots not leaving their base area.
Looks like Hero's able to move for Texas A&M.
Yeah, but
Yet
not
to
the
be
strat
seen
that they
from
usually
standard.
do. They're the standard not buying projectiles. The hero very slowly moving, able to buy some projectiles. NUS, if they push this advantage now, they could get a pretty good, and there they go. Very classic NUS Andy, able to land a hero shot.
Looks like that Sentry for Texas A&M is looking for targets, but trying to see that it's looking at the A, not an armor panel. Hero for Texas A&M.
You can
Closing
see what I'm
towards
saying
middle.
about the Sentry for Texas A&M firing most of its projectiles straight into the wall, bouncing back and actually killing itself. Is that what's happening? Is that where it's taking damage?
I think
if
that
there's
is why it's
multiple
taking
damage
damage.
sources, Texas A&M with just the biggest oof. Their Sentry has had some goofy moments, taking out its own base, now taking out itself.
Taking out itself is a bit different than doing just a few bits of chip damage to that overshield on the base.
Yeah, much more impactful this round. So
Like
with the help
standard.
of the TAMU Sentry, Singapore able to get about 300 HP in the lead here. Making up for lost time, Texas A&M Sentry does land a couple shots onto the Singapore robots. There it is, fighting off the hero of Singapore.
First blood.
Singapore running down its health. Both robots for Texas A&M now level 2.
Yeah, I believe the Sentry for Texas A&M, they're actually doing most of the damage to get that kill. So the Sentry playing for both sides, but not sure that's going to be enough here with 3 minutes left to play.
Level 1 disadvantage for Singapore currently. Level 2 advantage for Texas A&M, but they only have their hero. 16 projectiles loaded in that hero means Hegan's going to have to do quite a bit of work for that to be able to shake out in their favor.
Chat, we've confirmed we have children at home watching, so when you're describing the TAMU Sentry in chat, please use kind words. I appreciate how you did 2901 home. I'm just reminding the others. Texas A&M, not sure they're going to be able to bring it back here, Matt. Their hero level 2, but
lots of
NUS
damage.
doing a good job here, strafing back and forth.
Ooh, and a long-range hero
What the
shot.
heck? We'll have to watch that one on instant replay. NUS hero, absolutely MVP of the match. And the Sentry for Texas A&M now firing at the base, totally ignoring the standard from NUS.
Texas A&M was able to have its standard working. I think this round might be a different story, but currently Singapore doing a very good job of capitalizing on Texas A&M's malfunctions and technical difficulties.
And
Texas
Tamu's
A&M's base is
health,
falling.
11, 9, 7, 5. Singapore literally not missing a shot in the last 4 rounds of hero. Oh, there's
all you
the
had to do was
jinxed
say
him. Caster
something.
curse. I know. Thought they had it right there.
Singapore with an extremely commanding lead on Texas A&M, as now the Singapore base is losing its overshield, but JW not letting that go unnoticed in the cockpit of the standard for Singapore.
That was a good try from Keegan on the side of Texas A&M. That was really their only play here. The heroes from most teams, I was about to say heroes not effective at taking out sentries, but we're watching NUS use that strat. But for most teams, the only play here from Keegan is to take out the base shield and then try to base race. Both heroes lining up, but I don't think anyone will beat Singapore in a base race as they take down round 3 of Singapore versus Texas A&M.
Singapore doing an absolutely fantastic job showing that they are not here to mess around. They are now guaranteed to be first or second for real this time, hopefully.
I've hit complete prediction. I'm not